You gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. He looked good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. A rainy, stormy Monday morning. One of those mornings, excuse me, one of those mornings you don't want to get up, get out of bed and get moving, but it is a Monday morning, and we're here to get you through it. We're here to make sure that you get through that Monday and on to the rest of the week. A holiday weekend is coming up. Memorial Day weekend is right around the corner. So let us help you get through the work week, and we're glad you did by joining us here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. If you're watching us live on YouTube, thank you for that. We appreciate that. Make sure you're subscribing. That helps a ton. If you have, thank you. If you have not subscribed, please do so ASAP, and then tell a friend or two or 10 or all of your friends about what we're doing each and every weekday right here at 10 a.m. Also, we are live on X. X has been very, very good to us as well, so we appreciate you guys if you watch us on X as well. Make sure you're staying interactive. There's a great chat going on right now on the YouTube page, so go check that out. There's those everyday guys that are in there that are chatting all the time, and then of course people stop by all the time. So if you have questions for guests, all of the kind of things, let me know. Get on there, complain, compliment, anything you want. Check it out on the YouTube page. Also, make sure you're doing that on X as well. We appreciate it. You can also check out the show on the podcasting platforms, anywhere you get your podcasts, whether it's Spotify, iHeart, Podbean, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. Go ahead and check out Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Just put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. It'll pop up. Subscribe, like, all of those kind of things, and join us on the audio version as well. It's easier to listen to me sometimes than it is to look at me. So always encourage that, and thank the people that are doing that. A lot of people take in the show each and every day via the podcasting platforms as well. So thank you for that. And then also this Monday, I hope right now we're live on the WHO streaming app. We're gonna move to being live for the first hour of the show every day in Central Iowa and everywhere you can get your WHO streaming app. So hopefully that's the case. Technology and I aren't always best of friends, but we'll find out afterwards. And if not, that eventually this week you will find us live on the WHO streaming app for the first hour of the show from 10 to 11 a.m. each and every day. We're excited about the move to a live aspect of the show as well. Should be a lot of fun for sure. Also, a little housekeeping this week. No show tomorrow. It is John Deere Classic Media Day. So I'm going to be out there, and they let me golf. I don't know why. So me and some friends are going to be out there. OG Weezy, Scott Weiss will be with me as well. And we're going to be golfing out of Deer Run, and also talking to Brian Campbell, the defending JDC champion as well. So no show tomorrow, then a show for the rest of the week, then a 3-day weekend. We're going to enjoy Memorial Day as well. So that we'll be reminding you about throughout the rest of the week. But good show today, no show tomorrow, and then a busy week for the rest of the week. Also, if you missed last week's shows, shame on you. You got to go back and check them out. On Tuesday, we had Zach Johnson talking about the John Deere Classic, golf in general, his beloved Iowa Hawkeyes. So Zach was great last Tuesday. Go check him out. Last Thursday, we had Illinois' Brad Underwood live, and then we had Tate Sage from the University of Iowa. Two great conversations. One of my favorite shows I've probably ever done doing this show now for getting close to a year and a half. So go check out Thursday's episode of Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. Tate was great. Such awesome information. We'll talk with Tom Kakert about him in just a second. So those interviews and every show from last week was a lot of fun. Kyle Huseman was great on Friday. I'm trying to think back in my head as we think about what shows were when and all of those kind of things. But Andrew Lehman was on the show on Wednesday. Pat Rangel, the new Alleman head basketball coach, was on. Scott Morrell, the new Moline girls coach, was on. Brett Algren, the new coach over at Pleasant Valley. So we had a blast last week. If you missed last week, check it out. But definitely check out Thursday's show. And really excited because Tate and Cooper Koch and a foursome of Iowa Hawkeyes will be teeing it up at the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing on June 20th. We figured that out, confirmed that this weekend. Excited about those guys coming down for the event. So we have one, maybe two teams left to fill up to get to 36 teams in the outing, which we're excited about. We are less than 5 weeks out from the event. It was 5 weeks from Saturday. So if you're interested, GuyRandazzoGolf.com. Get in there, get your team signed up. By next week, I don't think we'll be talking about having teams available, which is good and cool on our end. We're excited about that, but make sure you get out there and join us. I promise you will have a bunch of fun. June 20th, Highland Springs Golf Course, Rock Island, Illinois. If you're watching this, listening to this in the Iowa City area or Cedar Rapids, an easy trip. If you're in the Quad Cities, which a lot of you are, get in there and golf with us. We'll have a ton of fun of that as well. So with that being said, we have a lot to get to on today's show. Coming up in just a little bit, a matter of moments, Tom Kakert, who spent last week traveling to the NBA Combine and then to South Bend, Indiana for an event for the high school AAU events, will be joining us. Got a ton of recruiting news and notes for the University of Iowa. Also has Bennett Stirtz notes as well. So we will get to Tom Kakert coming up in just a little bit. Also, we have Wrigley Matthys on the show today. Wrigley made some news last week, had a great season, fantastic season at Kirkwood Community College, was the MAC Baseball Player of the Year last summer. He committed to the University of Iowa. He will continue his career. 3 years left at the University of Iowa. We have the former Bettendorf standout with us coming up a little bit later on in hour number 1 of the show. Excited to get to Wrigley in a little bit as well. Also, we will look back at last week a little bit with some of the aforementioned interviews that we had, and also my best and worst things I saw this weekend. I get done at the end of the weekends, and one, I watch too much youth baseball. So I always have things that I'm like, man, that was awesome. And then things I'm shaking my head about, not just with that, but the world of sports in general. So we'll chat about a little bit of those coming up later on in the show as well. Some news and notes from the world of sports before we get to the aforementioned Tom Kakert. It was a good Sunday if you're a Fever fan, another good Sunday if you're Caitlin Clark, as she made history once again. A new record for Caitlin Clark. She now has the new WNBA record for the most career games, 11 of them, with 20 plus points and at least 10 assists. Did that last night. I should say, yeah, it was last night, the 5 o'clock start, against Seattle, I believe. 21 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. So she had a great game. They beat Seattle. So the Fever now 2-2 in the season. They did that without Aaliyah Boston. Aaliyah was out and that was the first game I think in her WNBA career that she missed. So Aaliyah Boston was out. It's Caitlin Clark continuing to break history and make history for the Fever in the WNBA. So congratulations to Caitlin Clark, continuing to set a new standard when it comes to professional basketball in the WNBA. PGA Championship, intriguing till the final day. It was still good on Sunday, but Aaron Rai goes ahead and wins his first major. A fantastic birdie putt on 18 as well. You'll see that for years to come. So Aaron Rai, your PGA champion. Also, Major League Baseball, Southsiders beat the Cubs 2 out of 3. So all of the 5 or 7 White Sox fans that are in the Quad Cities. No, I'm kidding. I know most of them that's the case. But the White Sox fans this morning, stand up, applaud yourselves. The White Sox are 24-22, and they're not a bad baseball team. I don't know if they're a good baseball team, but they're not a bad baseball team by any stretch of the imagination anymore. And they're 2 games back in the American League Central. So hats off to the Scott Weisses and Greg Armstrongs and Steve Campbells of the world out there that are White Sox fans that are enjoying. Tony Huntley is a White Sox fan as well. So a nice weekend for the Southsiders. I know Big Steve. I'm surprised Big Steve hasn't called me and taunted me and all that kind of stuff. But a nice and a really fun baseball game yesterday when you have the Cubs getting up early, White Sox tying it. They take the lead in the 8th. Cubs tied in the 9th. They take the lead in the extra innings, and then the White Sox walk it off. I'm a Cub fan, so I didn't love the walk-off part, but a fun weekend in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Man, the Cubs fans were loud at Wrigley. Oh, wait, that wasn't at Wrigley? Okay, well, then on the south side of Chicago, the Cub fans were really loud as well. So it's a fun series up there, and I think both teams have a lot to be excited about. Obviously, the Cubs playing really good baseball, 29-18 on the season, second best record in the NL. They need pitching. I think we're going to be talking a lot about that up into the pitching or the trade deadline. But Cubs and White Sox. The White Sox take 2 out of 3 from the North Siders. Let's get to it. Tom Kakert hasn't been on OTA in a few weeks, and we have plenty to get to and talk with Tom Kakert about right now on OTA. So back from a busy week of traveling before he travels again this weekend, Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report joining us. How was your weekend? I know busy. Did you at least get to take a deep breath and relax a little bit towards the end?
Not really, but it's good to be back on all ears.
It's been a while. It's been 3 weeks. No, I think the last time you were on was the Chuck. No, it was the Chuck.
I don't know.
Live from the so I can't afford the big money contract guys anymore. You know, when you got Underwood and Tate Sage, I can't afford. I mean, you cost more than those guys.
No. My NIL is not very much. I have to pay you to be on all ears.
Yeah, right. We've got a lot to get to because I do want to get your quick thoughts and not right off the bat, but on your Bears schedule. But I want to start with the important stuff. And I want to just I want to go backwards from your trip. So you went to the NBA Combine. Bennett Stirtz was there, did those kind of things, then went into Indiana, I believe, right? To watch some.
Yeah, it's just outside of South Bend for the Adidas event.
That's where I want to start because I want to go big picture for a second. Everyone is so locked into the transfer portal and building rosters that way and all those kind of things. It seems like it's the not popular, but what everybody's talking about. I believe while the staff wants to obviously get some of those that they need, they want to build a foundation through high school basketball and getting high school basketball players. It's a big thing for Fran and the staff to get out these couple weeks, isn't it? And to see some, excuse me. Wow, I did that. Ben and the staff to get out and for Ben and the staff to get out. Yeah, right.
He's back, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't want any part of that right now. I'm staying part of it. There is no part of that I want right now. It's important for Ben and company to get out and see as many people as possible and players. They want to build a foundation through the high school ranks, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. That's going to be the focus, and that's what Ben McCollum wants to do is get those guys in his program for 3, 4, 5 years and build the program that way, as opposed to just going out and hiring, quote unquote mercenaries, I guess, if you will, just going out and portaling every year and redoing your roster. He wants continuity instead of 10 new guys every year. They'll still hit the portal and fill needs like they did this year, going out and get McKeever and going out and getting Coleman. But they've got to continue to build through the prep ranks, and I think that's what they're going to do.
It was a busy week. It's a busy time all over the place, busy weekend. Who were some of the main prospects you were looking at when you were in South Bend?
Well, their big focus in the 27 class is on point guards. So there were 2 that were at the Adidas event that I went to, Antonio Pemberton and Jalen Davis. Pemberton's an East Coast kid, Davis is a West Coast kid, and talked to both of them. They're both very different. Jalen Davis is higher ranked. He's like 17th, I think, in the country in our Rivals on 3 rankings. So he's really talented. He plays kind of a, I don't know, more of a Bennett Stirtz type game where there's not a push, there's not a rush to anything. He plays very smooth, plays very patient basketball, good passer, takes care of the basketball, gets his teammates involved. And where Pemberton is smaller, he's probably about 5'11", I would guess, but super explosive athlete and plays with his hair on fire, kind of guy that's just up and down the floor trying to dunk on 6'10" guys. Saw that a couple times. He's really springy, powerfully built kind of athlete. So very different players, but both of them had great things to say about Iowa. Both of them want to visit Iowa. Both of them were front and center. In fact, Pemberton told me he was during the Iowa's run to the Elite Eight. He was texting with Coach McCollum after every game, just kind of touching base and telling how impressed he was with what Iowa was doing. And so I think either of those guys would be really good. But there's 3 other guys that were at the Nike event down in Memphis that I didn't go to. But we'll hopefully get to see all those guys this weekend in Kansas City. That may be higher in the list. That's where Ben was. Ben McCollum and Josh Sash were down in Memphis for the Nike event. This was the only weekend that coaches can be out in May. They're not going to be out next weekend when Nike is doing stuff.
Oh, wow.
So they've Ben and Josh Sash posted up down in Memphis in South Bend. It was Connor Wheeler on Friday night, and then Saturday, Sunday, it was Luke Barnwell in South Bend. So you can have 4 coaches out at once. So they had Bryson Williams was kind of hitting some other events that were in the Midwest, in Kansas City, Tulsa area. So they were busy, but Jackson Davis was one of the guys they're watching in Memphis, a kid from the Chicago area who's another 4-star, top 50 player. Caden Daughtry, who is the number 16 guy, I think, in our rankings, another 4-star kid. Ben and Josh were front and center for watching him all weekend, and TJ Jamison, another point guard, along with Jason Gardner Jr. That makes you feel old. That remember
Wow.
when his dad, Jason Gardner, was playing. Yeah, he's got a son who's a senior in high school. Going to be a senior in high school next year. So, so they're watching a lot of guys, and I feel pretty confident that they're going to get one of those guys. I don't know which one. Everybody asks me which one. Give me percentages. I don't have percentages
Who
because I
does
want
such
to
a
talk
thing?
to
Who does
those
such a
guys
dumb
down
question?
with the Nike circuit and kind of get a feel for what they're saying too. I know what Jalen Davis and I know what Antonio Pemberton said. I don't know what those guys are going to say. I only read what they say to other people. So until I get that feel, I'm not going to do percentages.
The vibe you get about I want to go real quick to feeling old. You mentioned feeling old and remembering dads playing.
I am.
I am too, because please tell me you didn't chat with and see Reggie Evans and his son RJ.
I did.
Like, is that a thing? Reggie's kids about ready to be a college basketball player, or in this world? I know he's a little younger. What I mean, you saw Reggie talk about seeing Reggie, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So last year when I went to the Adidas event in Council Bluffs, the first 2 people I walk in the door, and literally the first 2 people I see are Reggie Evans and Dean Oliver. And Dean's son, who's walking on to play football at Iowa, was playing basketball there, Isaiah. And RJ was playing with the 15U Austin Rivers team as a 14-year-old last year. So, yeah, so the Austin Rivers team was playing again this weekend. This was in the South Bend area. And, I saw Reggie Friday night, and immediately he sees me, he's yelling over at me to come over, and we sat and watched the game. Here's the thing with Reggie. Reggie's daughter, one of his daughters is playing at Penn State.
Really?
So playing basketball at Penn State, yeah. He had a daughter that played at Georgia. He's got kids that are older. I mean, Reggie's like 42, I think, now,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
He's still playing in the Big Three. Told me he's playing one more year.
Is
This is
he
it.
really? Yeah, obviously, he
He'll play in
looks
the
like
Big
he
Three
can
this
go
summer.
if he can do that kind of stuff. Does he look much different?
Oh yeah, he looks like he can go. So RJ though is exploding. He's a 2029 kid. He's a 15-year-old kid that is playing with the 17U team. That's a good team. The Austin Rivers team's a good team. He's got some good players on his team. He might be their best player, or he's one of their best
Wow.
players as a 15U kid. RJ just posted this morning that he got an offer from NC State. He hadn't really gotten a lot of offers. It was like he told me Florida Atlantic and Sac State were there, or were there with offers already, but he hadn't. I think I was going to offer him. I'm pretty sure they're going to offer him because he's really intriguing. He's very different than Reggie because he's 6'6" and he's kind of long and wiry. He's not filled out. He's going to fill out eventually, but he's more of a wing than he is a power forward. Shoots it pretty well. He's really talented. I'll tell you how talented he is. The Adidas circuit, I think, picked like 12 guys to go on this thing, and they're going to leave, I think, this week to go overseas and play in a tournament in Greece, and he's on that team.
Oh, wow.
So he's really highly thought of, and he'll go to also end up going to Italy after that for another tournament. So it's more of a camp than a tournament in Italy. So he's going to get some really good international experience. Great kid. RJ's awesome. Got to meet him last year. You remembered us talking last year. I just basically just chatted with him and took a picture. I didn't want to do an interview with him yet. But this time, I have a story up here in the next day or so about him, and he's really intriguing. And I didn't realize this because I saw some of the guys at some of the tournament games, but I didn't really see them. I turned around and I'd see Nicholas Baer or Jabo or somebody back there, but I didn't really see them. But Reggie's like, I was at the games in Tampa. I was like, really? I never saw you. And he goes, yeah, RJ and I were there.
Oh,
So
that's awesome.
they were at those games watching the Hawks beat Clemson, and they beat Florida because Reggie lives in Tampa. That's where RJ goes to school. So they were right there.
Did you get a vibe? Obviously, he's still an Iowa guy. He went there. We're looking at you're mentioning Nicholas
Reggie,
and those guys. Those are Fran guys. I mean, Reggie's an Alford guy. I mean, he goes back
Reggie,
a ways, but he's an Iowa guy through and
Reggie
through.
loves being a Hawkeye, and he loves being a Hawkeye. So that's part of his identity, and I think they'll probably come up for a visit. RJ's been to Iowa before with Reggie. Last time Reggie came to town, so I think they'll visit, and we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Tell me about some other prospects. I know there's a Cole Kelly kid out of the state of Illinois that people really like as well. What other guys did you see that I was interested in that we're going to be hearing about over this next recruiting cycle?
Yeah, Cole Kelly. So I should mention RJ is a class of 2029 player. So he's a couple of years away from really being, hot on the recruiting thing, but he's going to be a top 100, top 50 player in his class, I think, when they start ranking that group. Cole Kelly, top 40 kid right now. He's a 2028 forward, about 6'6", 6'7", from Nashville Valley in Naperville, and that was the first I saw him play last year, but I didn't really kind of like zero in on him. And he's really talented. He's filled out, gotten stronger, lower body, upper body. He is like a point forward. They run their offense through him, and he kind of controls tempo like Bennett Stirtz does. And that's why I see like why the Iowa coaches are just so enthralled with him, is because he kind of fits with the way they play. But I think he fits with a lot of people. I mean, Friday night I looked over watching the game, and Dan Hurley's sitting there, and the Duke coaches are sitting there. So it's like, okay, those guys are starting to check this guy out a little bit. He's going to be on that European tour thing with RJ too. So they're going to be playing together, which will be interesting to talk to those guys maybe later this summer about the experience of playing together and if they developed any sort of friendship relationship. But he is Illinois, Iowa. He's visited Iowa, likes it a lot, knows he's a really good fit there. Purdue's in there, Creighton. There's going to be a long list of schools, because he's not like, I wouldn't say like elite athlete. So he's probably not a guy that's going to be like one and done. You know, he might play 3 years, maybe 4 years in college. So that's an appeal to coaches now, is I can get this really good player it's just this guy that's a connector, and have great success with him. So we'll see where things go. It's going to be an uphill climb. Another guy that I really liked on the 28 class is a kid named Parker McDaniel. He's from Oklahoma. Iowa has not offered yet, but he visited last fall, and he is probably about 6'3", guard, but more of like a combo guard. Can handle it, but he's also a big time shooter, and he played really well the game and a half that I saw him play, and he could get after it, and I like what I see from him. He loves Iowa. I think he's one of those kids that if Iowa offered, he'd probably take it tomorrow. He's a big fan of Tate Sage, being from Oklahoma, so and he's a big Bennett Stirtz guy. It's funny how much Bennett is resonating with these guys, that everybody likes watching Bennett play and how he plays the game. So, those are some of the guys that we saw.
I like it because you mentioned Bennett resonating. I mean, obviously he's a really good basketball player and like his game. Don't players kind of like the way he played in Iowa's system as well? I mean, players like to have the ball in their hands, and nobody in college basketball had it in their hands more than Bennett Stirtz.
Yeah, and playing 40 minutes a game too. So the willingness to get all those minutes is another thing that I think they like. So we'll see. Like I said, I think they're going to get one of those 27 point guards. I don't know who it's going to be. I think the other interesting thing, just talking to some coaches, is just the interest that everybody has in like what's going to happen with this you got 5 years to play 5 seasons of basketball, and how that's going to impact. Like, for example, the Iowa roster, there's 2 seniors coming up. That's Cale Combs and Cam Manio. Those are guys that could potentially come back for another year, and how's that going to impact maybe your recruiting or what you do recruiting wise in 27, because you could have both those guys back. And do you want to just take a point guard and be done? Do you want to try and add a wing and try to balance having all those guys on your roster? It may adjust how you do things.
You know as well as I do, though, that, I mean, we've talked about the numbers in the Iowa, and if Ben plays 8 or 9, I mean, there's 11 guys on that roster, 12 guys on that roster right now that deserve to be playing college basketball. So yes, I get what you're saying about adding one and being done, but the world of college basketball, there's going to be, just simply because that's what's interesting with the Iowa women right now, is they basically have 8 or 9 players that are going to play and be happy. And then they've almost got a couple developmental, and then one that just flat out said, hey, if I play, it's awesome. If I'm not, I'm here for the ride. Like, numbers are going to open up for the University of Iowa men's wise when it comes to spots, just because of those kind of things. Correct?
Yeah. You can always count on somebody's going to leave. That's just the nature of college basketball today, that there's going to be open spots on a roster just based on what happens in the sport. So it's interesting to just think about that Cam and Kale could be back for another year beyond this year. And how about this? The 7-3 kid, McKeever, could play 3 years instead of 2.
Yeah. No,
it's interesting.
And you look at, I mean, Coop already had the red shirt, so he's not, but I mean, Tate Sage can play 4 more years if he wants to. I mean, that's intriguing to think about. And you look at it, some of these guys, and I'm not saying Tate or any of those guys are going to play at the next level, but some of these guys, the most money they're going to make, and it's a lot of money, is a 5-year period between the ages of 18 and 23. That crazy.
Is the other thing. That is the other thing why you might not carry an extra couple of guys, is because you can give more money to the guys that you have currently, because not everybody has Louisville and Kentucky money where they can spend $20 million on a roster. They just don't. So you've got to make an economic decision as well.
Tom Kakert from the Hawkeye Report joining us on Off Day with Matt Randazzo. You started your weekend, whatever you want to call it, your travels at the NBA Combine. What did you, first off, being there, and you've been to them before, but what are they like? I know people always are intrigued. We're going to talk about Bennett in a second, but what's it like getting up there and seeing the best of the best when it comes to the future stars in the NBA?
Yeah, it's interesting, and seeing all the movers and shakers in the NBA. By the way, one other fun note. This was kind of wild, going back to RJ Evans too. So Friday night I'm sitting there and I look over, and Michael Malone, the new North Carolina coach, is in the gym watching RJ. And I was like, I wonder if there was some connection with Reggie and Michael Malone. So I asked Reggie, and Reggie goes, yeah, he coached me in Sacramento.
Oh, geez. Yeah. I mean,
he loved playing for Michael Malone too. Loved it.
Wow.
It's just he's a player's coach, and just a great coach, great guy. So it's just wild that, yeah, that guy coached Reggie, and now he's potentially, at least evaluating his son. And that's probably why he was sitting in the stands watching that game, was because we was going to get a look at Reggie's son. It's wild.
I want RJ in Iowa. I mean, that's my new thing now. If I take one thing out of my conversation with you today, is that I want RJ Evans playing at the University of Iowa. But go back. Let's get back to the Combine. Thoughts of being there. Obviously, it's such a big deal. And Tom, it's a loaded season, allegedly, what the experts say when it comes to the NBA draft.
Yeah, there was one of the interesting things for me was the interview sessions. And, I'm there to talk to Bennett, but, the first interview session, there's AJ DeBonsa and Darren Peterson and guys like that are in there, and just the crowds around them, and the NBA media, just kind of caving in on all those guys, and asking them about their careers and everything, and how they've handled things too. It's just, it was really interesting to be there, because it's just very different than it used to be back when it was at Moody Bible Institute, and it's just a different event. And now there's just so much media that covers it. I mean, it's like a major media event, and yeah, it was. Bennett handled it great. he feels like he's got a range that he thinks he's going to go in. Said he's got visits to Chicago, Toronto, and Charlotte set up this month to go visit those teams and get to know their front offices a little bit more. And that seems to be kind of the window where Bennett thinks he's going to go. So it's like that, 15 to 22 kind of area where he thinks he's going to go. He really had a good session shooting the ball. Again, he goes, but it's like against air. So it's not like a big deal. But so I go, were you nervous? And he goes, a little bit. First couple, I clanked him, but then got in that groove and just started draining shots. And I know some people made a lot of him measuring at 6'2.5" and in barefoot. And I'm like, who cares what he is barefoot? He's wearing shoes when he's playing basketball. It's not like he's Jimmy Snuka wrestling without shoes on or something.
Great wrestling reference. Well done, Tommy. That's well done. Well done. Go on.
I thought you would like that.
Yes, that's really good on a Monday morning. I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I go with Jimmy Snuka rather than Matt Riddle.
Probably a good choice. What was the feedback you heard about? I mean, did you hear anything about Bennett? You mentioned that window. Obviously, you could talk to him and get his feedback and his feel. Did you hear anything around, the combine about what the NBA feels about Bennett Stirtz?
Yeah, I think they really like him as a combo guard. I thought it was interesting that he was marketing, because whatever he's saying is coming from his agent at this point, in terms of, marketing himself, selling himself. And when he called himself the best shooter in the draft, I thought that was interesting, because he's marketing himself as a combo guard, not just a point guard who can come in, but a guy who could play with, a really good point guard. Say, like, if he goes to Detroit and he could play with Cade Cunningham, but also come in and run that second unit. So he's got versatility to his game that I think will really benefit him, because people can say, yeah, you're a second team point, but you're also maybe our two guard, or maybe you play with our point guard that's going to be in the game, and you can come off screens, or just be hit corner threes, those sorts of things. So I think he's doing the right thing by marketing himself as with that shooting, and he shot great. I mean, he was one of the best shooters there. So it's what he said is not without a basis of fact.
Tommy, before I let you get out of here, we had Tate Sage on the show last week. When you returned my phone calls, I had to settle for Tate Sage, and a couple things he said that I want to get your thoughts on. One, he talked about, I asked him, I said, like with Journey Houston, well, going from freshman to sophomore year, she wants to show her range, versatility, offensive game a little more. I said, as you go from your freshman year to your sophomore year, maybe asked to do more, obviously, with Bennett being in the NBA. What do you want to show off, and what do you want people to know or see about you? And first thing he said, Tom, was he was a point guard in high school. He's used to the ball in his hands. Your reaction to that, because I had heard that before, maybe just in passing, but I never really thought about it. And then everyone was so eager to get a point guard at Iowa or guard, and they did with the Tyree Coleman kid. But can Tate Sage be? I mean, he's going to have the ball in his hand a lot next year, right?
Yeah, I think so. And that was mentioned to me last year. I think Ben even said it. He's like, I'd play Tate at point, feel comfortable with it, because he's good with the ball in his hands. And I think he's going to continue to get better on all ends. I go so far as to say, of the guys maybe on the roster now, Is Tate Sage the best NBA prospect?
I was thinking about
Probably.
that the other day as well.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm not saying next year, but I'm saying when that time comes, you'll be like, boy, I think he could. I'm not saying he's a first round pick, anything like that. We'll see what happens. I don't think anybody would have said after Bennett Stirtz's freshman year that, oh yeah, there's a surefire first round pick. Guys get better,
I'm stubborn about Tommy.
he's going to be good.
I think I'm biased. And I know maybe athleticism wise, Coop needs to develop some of that more as well. But like, I go back to shooting the basketball, and they want guys that can fill it up at the next level. And I think Coop is an elite shooter. So I think there's a spot at that next level for Coop. But you're right. No, I think so my other one, and by the way, you can go back and listen to the Tate Sage interview. It was last Thursday. We went Brad Underwood and then Tate Sage back to back. Pretty good random Thursday in the month of May. And you look at it, and he mentioned, I said, okay, a lot of people are buying stock in Tate Sage. Like, they're excited about you. Who are you most excited about on your team, teammate wise, buying stock in? And he said, Big Trevin Urach.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you that over the weekend. Thing. I was going to say, I told you that over the weekend, and you're like, yeah, that's what I'm hearing. Your reaction to that, and expand on that, Mr. Know-It-All.
How about do we see some Twin Towers this year?
Be fun. I don't know defensively if it'd be that much fun, but
because Trev can just go out and shoot the ball. I mean, he can step out to the three and shoot it, and put him in some screen action. You got put McKeever down in the dunker spot on the block, and there you go. Be some fun. Be interesting.
Tom, you look
at. They're also. I know they feel pretty good about that. Cam is starting to develop the skills where he could play the 4 with McKeever too. So they've got what McCollum's doing is he's collecting a lot of guys like 6'9" to 6'5", kind of that do a lot of different things, from a Jaden Kuhn, Harris, all those guys. Howie, Coop, Tate, all these different guys, and he's collecting them, and they all do something different, and you can kind of plug and play based on what you need at a certain time. And I think it's really interesting to see how those guys develop and how they carve out roles, and how McCollum ends up deploying them this winter.
It's intriguing to me. You mentioned Urach playing with everything I hear from Urach, and I don't want to say I was tough on him last year, but there was times that he was.
You were.
He was. There was times
you were mean.
No, I was not ever mean.
You're a hater.
Who'd you do this to me before? Who was it recently that you're like, you don't like this person? I'm like, it's not true. I do like him. There was somebody recently that you kept on every time we brought him up. It wasn't that recently, but in the Fran era, obviously. But there were times last year that he was probably in over his head a little bit during the Big Ten when he came in for minutes but early in the season, everybody I talk to him about, I hear the fact that he can pass it really well. And in McCollum's offense, like, that's super intriguing. Isn't the way he sees the field, the court, not just his ability to shoot the basketball you mentioned, but he's a really good passer for a big man.
Yeah. He's really skilled. He's just, the big thing for him is to continue to improve his athleticism. And if he can do that, get a little quicker with his feet, that's going to happen. So, and McKeever's a really good passer too, from what I understand. That he can handle it and deal it and make some plays with the ball. So they've got a really intriguing team that's going to be on the court this year. I am just super fascinated to see what they look like.
Yeah, that's what they say about me too, Tom, is I need to continue to improve on my athleticism. It's not happening anytime soon, but something we all need to improve on as well. Bears schedule, big picture, real fast. Did you go through it? Are
17
you
and
that
0.
guy? Do you do that? Do you go through and do
Seven?
WL?
No.
I did it with Bobby Metcalf the other day, and I think I had the Bears at 9-8, but it was probably hard on them. So I probably think they're going 10-7. Is that fair?
17 and 0.
Like you. There's nothing about Bears fans I like, and you're one of them. I can't even have a normal conversation with you with the nonsense you bring out. Pump the site. There's a ton up at the Hawkeye Report. I know Kyle is traveling right now. He's in Omaha for the Big Ten.
Kyle's in Omaha for Big Ten.
And he said he's going to watch AAU basketball after the baseball gets done with. He's going to go check out some women's basketball as well when it comes to the recruiting. And then you're on the road and you're going back on the road and pump everything you guys are doing at the Hawkeye Report.
I actually got a sale going right now where you can, first 5 days for $1, and then if you stick around, you get 50% off the first year. So
do you still get the athletic stuff or no?
Yeah, absolutely. Plus, you get to read all Doc's great
It's
stuff.
a no-brainer, people. It's an absolute no-brainer.
We read Doc and all the great stuff from, who's the Lions guy? Colton Pouncey or whatever.
Baby. Colton Pouncey.
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's good. And, you get to read all the good stuff on I read all the Cubs stuff on there because I'm obsessed with the Cubs. And, it's just, it's great. Love it.
Yeah.
So you get that for free too. So you get all of our stuff. I mean, the best football recruiting coverage that you'll read anywhere on a national basis with guys like Steve Wilfong and Chad Simmons and you got basketball side, you got my buddy Joe Tipton, and you've got Jamie Shaw, and those guys were down in Memphis, so they were checking out all those guys, writing about all those guys that were doing things that Iowa was interested in. They even put a note up about it. My buddy Josiah Harrington.
Yes.
Made their list this week. So North Scott's own. So yeah. So
nice.
Good deal.
It's a busy time of year. Make sure you guys are getting the Hawkeye Report. Tommy, get some rest this week at home, and then your wife gets ready for you again on the weekend. It's a good. That's nice. It's like a belated
really
Mother's Day gift, right? That's the way you got to look at it.
She's really happy. She's really happy. She wanted to kick me to the curb when I came home.
I don't blame her. All right, pal.
I don't either.
See you, buddy.
Okay.
All right. That is Tom Kakert for the Hawkeye Report. I will want to mention again we talked about Tate Cooper, 4 basketball players from the University of Iowa are officially going to be teeing it up at the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing June 20th. So we have. I know we have 1 spot left. We might have 2. So I'll talk about it a little later in the show. But if you're interested in teeing it up with us and getting out, great day of golf, June 20th, Father's Day Saturday, Highland Springs Golf Course, Rock Island, Illinois, right here in the Quad Cities. Let me know. Go to GuyRandazzoGolf.com. Plenty of Iowa flavor at the event this year, as usual. So, and Tom Kakert, who likes to say he's not going to be there, he'll be there as well. So, go check it out, GuyRandazzoGolf.com, and join us. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching OTA. It's a rainy Monday. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss prearrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off There with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. It was a busy week last week. Tons of news here on the show. Some really fun guests and everything like that. So some news broke, and we talked about it last week. Wrigley Matthys, former Bettendorf baseball player, MAC Player of the Year last year, went to Kirkwood this year, killed it. Great season. Hopefully it continues. We'll find out later today if they're playing postseason longer than the season that they've had. But Wrigley is committed to the University of Iowa to transfer to go play baseball at the University of Iowa. And joining us now to talk all about it is the aforementioned Wrigley Matthys. Thank you for doing this, my friend. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm excited to be on. Fun.
It's been a busy season, a busy week. Let's start with last week. Obviously making a decision on where you want to play college baseball after the season. You choose Iowa. You're wearing the Tiger Hawk. I don't think you had to go pull off a tag. I'm assuming you probably had some clothes that had the Tiger Hawk on it. What does it mean, and what led you to the University of Iowa?
Special. I've been wanting to play here for probably the last 6 years. It wasn't able to happen in high school, and luckily it was able to happen after a year at Kirkwood. I was really excited about it, and I'm ready to be a Hawk.
I want to go back to high school because it didn't happen out of high school. You go to a great baseball program at Kirkwood. What was the thought process out of high school? Was Iowa interested at all? Did they say we keep an eye on you, or was it something that the interest gained this season as you continue to play good baseball?
Yeah, I talked to University of Iowa pretty much like since my sophomore year, kind of on and off of high school. And basically I got a call senior year, my summer of my senior year, basically saying, we're going to keep a good eye on you this spring, and you have a good year, we'll make something happen. And I had a great year, and yeah, I got the call, and it was on there forward from there.
Let's talk about this past season, and maybe hopefully this season. You find out later today if Kirkwood continues in the postseason or not with an at-large bid. But it was a good season for you. Talk about the transition, because it's a different level. Really good baseball being played at Kirkwood in your conference. You didn't look like you struggled adapting to college baseball. What was the biggest difference? Or talk about the transition from playing high school baseball to this past season.
I think the biggest difference for me was kind of like the mental side of the game. Just going up to the plate and kind of having an expectation of what the pitcher's going to try to do to you and trying to get you out, and knowing what they're going to do, and basically having a plan to combat that, basically.
Your slash line, 387, 529, 652 is really, really good. You get on base a lot. That's what you did in high school. You haven't changed much. What would you say is the difference? You mentioned the mental approach to it, but when did you get comfortable, and did you realize right away you belonged at the college level?
Yeah, I always kind of felt within myself that I was skilled enough to play there and start there, and go forward from there. There was an adjustment period in the fall, and then you kind of get used to it, and you get that confidence, and it's on from there. You keep it rolling.
You have a good season at Kirkwood as the hits keep playing and the numbers keep going. Does Iowa stay in constant contact with you? When do they come back around? And then you had other choices as well. I mean, Gonzaga, Illinois. I think I read Vandy was even snooping around a little bit about Wrigley Matthys. Take me through the recruiting process, part 2 after Kirkwood, and now heading into this one.
Yeah, Coach Sutherland from University of Iowa, he's kind of calling me a couple times a week, just seeing where I am, where my head's at, where I want to go. And he was kind of calling me, staying in touch with me quite a bit, and I really appreciated that. Illinois and Gonzaga, they showed a lot of interest in me, offered me. I'm very grateful for that. It was a fun process, but I think something special about staying home and wearing the black and gold.
Talk to that, because you mentioned, and before we started, it wasn't like you had to go buy some Iowa gear. You're an Iowa fan. You've wanted to play in this program for a while. What did that mean to you last week to officially commit and to have that moment and to kind of live out a dream? I know you're hungry, you want to keep playing, all that kind of stuff, but did you sit back for a second? And what was it like to officially commit to, maybe your dream school, if that's fair to say?
Yeah, it's pretty special. Just kind of like me and my dad kind of always talking about, like, that's where I want to go in high school, and all the late nights, early mornings working for it. It's pretty cool to like say, all right, that I got that. Now I'm gonna keep working from there.
Obviously focused on Kirkwood this season, but you're watching Iowa from afar. Your thoughts on this program, what they've done this season? They continue to find ways to win games, and Heller does it every single year, and maybe how you see yourself fit in the future at the University of Iowa.
Yeah, I think Coach Heller always finds a way to win no matter what kind of team he has. Last year they finished second in the Big Ten. They had a great year. They're having a good year this year. I think they're 6th in the Big Ten, 7th in the Big Ten. They're going to make the Big Ten tournament, and they'll play next week. But yeah, I think that I'll fit in great with them. I think that I'm a contact hitter, that I can have some pop at times, but I think I fit perfect with their kind of offense. They move runners, and they are good on the base pass, and I think that's who I am.
I want to talk about Kirkwood a little more, because yes, you're going to the University of Iowa, but you had a great opportunity to go to a great school at Kirkwood. That's just what they do. They get kids better. They get them to that next level. Talk about going there and what that experience has meant to you, because obviously you did a lot of the work, you put a lot in, but they put in a lot to you as well. Talk about what you got this past season out of Kirkwood.
I learned a lot, especially hitting wise, from my hitting coach up there, Pete Lordson. Just teaching me like the ins and outs, like basically where to look when you're like up in counts, where you're down in counts, stuff like that. Just the mental side of the approach, kind of, I guess, during the at bats. I've also gained, a lot of great friends there. I'm very happy I went there. It's been a blast of a season. Hopefully it keeps going.
Wrigley Matthys, future Hawkeye, now current Hawkeye, I guess, right now joining us on Off There with Matt Randazzo. We talked about it last year when you knuckleheads were heading to state for the first time in forever, and you make it to the state championship game, that you didn't. And Wrigley, I watched 14 games of youth baseball this past weekend because I have too many kids. And you lived it, you did it too. But we kind of joked or talked that like you weren't searching around the best, most elite program to go play for. You love playing for your kids or with your friends and doing those kind of things. And now here you are going to play Big Ten baseball. Is there a message to any of that when you look at the craziness of youth baseball and what you were able to accomplish and able to do?
Yeah, I think that it doesn't really mean anything where you're playing at 10, 11 years old. I was playing AA baseball, I think it was, until I was 14. And then you just gotta work hard. You gotta work for what you want, and nothing's given to you. You just gotta earn it.
Looking back on those days, if I go tell, because I have an 11-year-old and a 9-year-old, I think I have one every year, it seems like. But and if you go back and tell yourself when you were 11 or 9 or whatever that you're playing baseball at the University of Iowa, what would that little Wrigley think or say if you get to go back in time and tell him what was going on?
You'd be like, I believe you. That's always been like kind of the goal and the the dream, I guess, to play Division I baseball, and I'm ready and ready to get after it. I'm ready to compete.
Wrigley, you look at that baseball program at Bettendorf, and it was a special run. Gosh, it seems like it was a while. It was just a year ago. You guys were heading to state and doing less than a year ago that you guys were doing those kind of things. What does that program mean to you? I know you had a ton of fun this last season, accomplishing what you accomplished with some of your best friends. What did that program, Bettendorf Baseball, and that coaching staff do for you, not just baseball wise, but maybe life wise, as you continue to do good things in the sport?
They did a lot for me. They trusted me as a 15-year-old kid to go start in center field for them as a freshman. They always believed in me, and they always had the confidence that I was going to pick them up, and I really appreciate that for them, or appreciate that from them. Very grateful for everybody over there, the coaches, the players that are there that I play with right now. Those are special people.
What was the commitment like? Did you call family? Did you call friends? Did you enjoy it at all? Did you go have a nice meal? Give me something here, Wrigley. What was the actual commitment and maybe the phone calls and all those kind of things afterwards? What was that like?
Yeah, I called my mom and dad first. They were really pumped and really excited. Called my uncle. He was really pumped about it. But yeah, I called Coach Sutherland, told him that's the spot I want to be at. I want to be a Hawkeye, and he was fired up. He was really happy about it, and so was I. And I hung out with some buddies that night, and it was a good time.
I love it. Wrigley Matthys joined us on Off There with Matt Randazzo. We did fun questions with you guys. All my interviews run together, but you and a teammate were on last year when you guys were doing the magical state run. But I got to ask you, because I've had a lot of baseball guys on this time of year, obviously. Are you superstitious, Wrigley? I don't know if I asked you last time you were on here, but baseball guys they're weird. Y'all are weird. You know that. Do you have superstitions, and if so, what are they?
I guess I do have. I always wear the same exact shirt, I guess, under my jersey. I guess every single game, no matter if it's dirty or not. I guess I gotta wear the exact same shirt. But besides that, I don't have much. I mean, I have the same routine, I guess, before every at bat. But I guess it's kind of just the shirt, I guess.
Hopefully you're washing the shirt, Wrigley, as much as possible. Unless you go 4 for 4. And then if you go for 4, don't touch the thing. Just put it back on. Sleep in it if you have to. Have you been around a weird superstition? You don't have to rat your teammate out in high school or travel or in college or whatever, but is there any one that you've been around that's like, okay, this dude's a little weird?
I guess one of them, he wears the same socks. I think is pretty kind of gross.
Yeah.
For every game. So I think that one is the little grosser than the shirt because of how sweaty your feet get.
That's true.
But besides that, I can't really think of any.
Wrigley, if I always ask people or athletes, if you could play another sport, what would it be and why? I covered enough of you playing football that I know you were pretty darn good at that as well. But if there is another sport that you love that you would like to play, that if you weren't playing baseball didn't exist, what would it be?
Probably football. I've kind of grown up always playing football, so I love that. I love that sport.
Kirk Ferentz, do you go into his office like come fall and say, Coach, I can still do it?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't played in a couple of years. But.
I love it. When it comes to when you get back to the Quad Cities, what's the place to go? Where's food wise? Do you have favorite foods here in the Quad Cities you got to hit up when you get back home?
I mean, I'm a very big Chick-fil-A fan. Love Chick-fil-A. I'm kind of a Panda Express fiend too.
Oh my God, Wrigley.
Yeah, kind of those two, but mostly Chick-fil-A.
Wrigley, that's that week over in Illinois on Johnny Road. It's like Panda and Chick-fil-A are next to each other. And we call it Death Row because my family does. Cause it's just, I could hit up so many places on that little strip, but Chick-fil-A,
good stuff.
It's the best of the best, isn't it, man? Have you hit up their breakfast?
Chick-fil-A?
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
It's the most underrated thing that people don't know about it. And the lines
tough.
aren't even long in the mornings. They're not nearly as long in the mornings. So, Wrigley, as we let you go, you kind of talked about your team hoping to find out today whether you guys get to keep playing at large bid, all those kind of things. And what does it look like the rest of the way? Hopefully you play more baseball at Kirkwood and you guys get another opportunity. And then take me through the process. What happens next and how excited are you to get to Iowa City and become a Hawkeye?
Yeah, we'll find out today if we get the at-large. If we do, we'll practice tonight and practice on forward, I guess. But if we don't, start training. I believe I'm gonna play summer ball this summer to get ready for Iowa, and then I'll move in August, and it's on from there. Fall ball starts, and it's go time.
I love it. Wrigley, super happy for you. Mac played the year last year. Kirkwood's a fantastic college, but I remember saying to a buddy, like, this kid should be playing Division I baseball. He's playing Division I baseball. He's doing that next season at the University of Iowa, and maybe football. Why not? I'll make a phone call or two. We'll see what happens. But
right.
Wrigley, I appreciate your time. Congratulations once again, and best of luck the rest of the way at Kirkwood, and then good luck up in Iowa City.
Awesome. I appreciate you.
Awesome. That is Wrigley Mattthys, former Bettendorf standout, currently at Kirkwood, hopefully for some more time as well. Hopefully get some more games in and get the at-large, but committing to the University of Iowa. Super talented kid, good young man as well. So we'll keep our eyes on Wrigley Mattthys at the University of Iowa as well. We got a lot more to get to. You're watching OTA on a Monday right here in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. For over 65 years, Lindquist Ford has proudly served the Quad Cities, and they're just getting started. Looking for a new ride? Check out a healthy mix of new and quality pre-owned vehicles ready for you. Need service? Skip the waiting room. With free pickup and delivery and mobile service, they come to you. No delays, no hassle. From routine maintenance to a full-service collision repair shop, it's fast, friendly, reliable, and always transparent. Lindquist Ford, serving the Quad Cities since 1959. Experience the difference today.
All right, Crawford guys, we need to come up with a new ad campaign. Let's hear what you got.
Oh, let's make a new TV commercial.
No, we need a viral video.
I think my face would look good on a billboard. Come on, what?
Right. We need your head to be bigger.
For heating and air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical, count on the experts at Crawford Company.
Like me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Ugh, you've got to be kidding.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
This summer, light the fuse on something bigger than fireworks. It's red, white, and you at the John Deere Classic. July 1st through 5th with world-class golf and 4th of July energy you can feel. Wednesday is Youth Day and kids 15 and under get in free with a paid adult. After golf, concerts on the course rocks the weekend. Carrie Underwood, headlines, and All-American 4th of July celebration. And Old Dominion closes out Sunday. Stars, stripes, summer tradition. Get tickets now before they're gone at johndeereclassic.com.
Welcome back to Update with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, Monday, May 18th. Thank you guys for joining us on a Monday. It was a rainy start to the Monday here in the Quad Cities. I know a lot of the state of Iowa got a lot of rain into Illinois today. I guess it's supposed to do the same thing later on tonight. In between some nice dry hours, so hopefully you guys get out and enjoy your Monday at some point. If you're at work and you go for lunch, go for a walk, all those kind of things, and get ready for what should be a fun week here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We will not have a show tomorrow. It is John Deere Classic Media Day, so we'll have more on that on Wednesday. But myself, the rest of the esteemed media here in the Quad Cities are heading out to Deer Run. They're going to let us actually golf a little bit tomorrow, so hopefully that goes decent. I mean, for me, especially. So we'll see how that goes. But then, of course, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we'll have full shows. The weekend is Memorial Day weekend. I'm taking next Monday off. So we will be back a week from Tuesday, if that makes any sense. So a couple things I want to get to today before we get out of here for a Monday. You look at it, too, and you talk about it all the time. I go to a lot of youth baseball games over the weekends. I'm trying to count it up in my head. 2, 4, 3, 3, 10, and then 2, 12. This is probably way too much for you. 16 games this weekend for us. So I see a lot of youth baseball all over the place. Different complexes, different cities, all of those kind of things. So I've seen it all. This weekend I saw a lot of good stuff. And I really mean that. Like, I sit on here and I complain about youth baseball. A lot of good games. Kids played good. Good finishes. All of that. So a lot of good. I didn't get to see a fist fight between parents. I'm not going to say where it was at. That's irrelevant. I missed it by like 2 minutes. It sounds like I got full details about it. So I'm not going to share those here. Stop it. I mean, and I'll yell a little bit at an umpire here and there. Nothing bad, but just, my big thing is always like, hey, try that spot again. If it was a strike for maybe my kid pitching or our team pitching, that, but nothing. But I did hear of parents getting into so much that there was fists exchanged. I don't even know what age it was. Doesn't matter. Stop it. Be better. Youth baseball has become a giant in the world when it comes to, in our society, when it comes to what we do. And we just heard Wrigley Matthys on the show, which is another thing I wanted to bring up, because that's the good of part of the weekend, is that he played AA baseball, and that's outstanding baseball. Trust me. Up until 14 years old and through his travel into high school. And he's playing at the Big Ten next year. So I know that parents get wrapped up in it. They think that the 9U, 10U, 11U, whatever U game, 12, whatever, 7, 8 is the biggest thing in the world. And I get into my kids' sporting events as well. But everybody remember, take a deep breath, relax a little bit. It's youth sports in general, youth baseball. There are no scouts in the attendance. There's no the trophies are the trophies. I always tell everyone that if you want some trophies, I got like boxes of them downstairs that people can have them. Like, I don't even know if my kids are going to take them with them. And that's not saying my kids, that sounded arrogant. It's not meant that way. But it's not about that. So that was one thing that kind of annoyed and bugged me this weekend as well. Want to look back at last week real quick before we take one more quick time out. We talked with Tom Kakert about it. Tate Sage was on the show, talked about several different things. He talked about his stack up is in Trevin Urach, and Tom kind of echoed that earlier today, that they're excited about that as well. One of the fun stories I loved from Tate Sage is he's doing pretty good getting kids to come to the University of Iowa. Not kids, but players to come to the University of Iowa. Here was his cell when he hosted visitors, be it the 2 transfers and now the 2 freshmen coming in next year. He's 4 for 4. Take a listen. Can you tell us about Andrew McKeever and Tyreek Coleman as they get ready to become Hawkeyes?
Yep. So I kind of hosted both of them on their visit.
Look at that. You get credit then, right? That's the best assist, right?
I had a deal with Coach Mack. If I land a recruit, he owes me a steak dinner. So that's coming up soon.
Love it.
So give me a steak soon. But no, they're both great people, and you can tell just their energy and their personality fits who we are. You can just tell they're one of them, like one of us. So no, excited for both of them. Andrew's obviously 7'2", 7'3", whatever he is. So he's going to be a rim protector and a big presence. But I think something that people undervalue is his passing. Very, very, and super excited to play with him and see how he can fit with us. And then Tyreek is just, I watched him work on his visit, and he's pretty impressive, man.
Tate was pretty impressive as well. Obviously doing a good job on the recruiting trail. Really enjoyed my interview with him last Thursday's Off the Air. Make sure you check it out on YouTube. All of the streaming, podcasting platforms. It's on X as well. So take a listen. Really good stuff from Tate. And Tate will be at the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing with with Cooper Koch and a couple other teammates as well. So I mentioned it earlier in the show, GuyRandazzoGolf.com. We have 1 spot opening, maybe 2. So go check it out. Go fill out your team and join us on June 20th for a great day of golf as well. We mentioned that that Thursday as well. Last Thursday, we also got a chance to talk with the head coach of the Fighting Illini, Brad Underwood. Great conversation. We covered a lot of things. Of course, Brad is coming to the John Deere Classic Pro-Am. He's teeing it up at the Pro-Am. So I know a lot of Illini fans are excited about that. There will be plenty of orange in attendance. His future son-in-law will be participating, I think you should say. I should say, in the John Deere Classic itself. Brian Campbell, an Illini grad, is the defending champion. So I know Brad very excited about that, but I also talked to him about just big picture stuff about, being in that Final Four and what it meant program-wise. I know it means a ton, but what it meant to a guy that spent a lot of time in Macomb as an assistant coach at Western Illinois and worked his way up, and to see things come to fruition at the University of Illinois with that program. Here's Brad Underwood from last week's OTA. I had Chris Dewar on the show last week, a Quincy legend in our area, or down in that area, and he brought up you being in Macomb for as many years as you were, and how much he kind of got to know you, and how you enjoyed that community and those kind of things. So my question about the Final Four maybe goes back to Macomb. If you go back to that Brad Underwood in Macomb, that was at Western Illinois, and told him that he coached in the Final Four, what would he say to you, do you think?
Yeah, dreams do come true. I think that doing that at Illinois, when I was at Western, I had so much appreciation for how great the Illinois job was. And I said it when I took the job. There's a reason I took the job at Illinois, and it all stemmed from my time in Macomb. And it was the understanding of what a great fan base this was, how powerful basketball was, not just at the University of Illinois, but in the state. High school basketball was just phenomenal. At the time I was at Western, it was fun. It didn't matter where you went. There was high level players and great packed gyms. And so I always felt like we could get Illinois to the Final Four. Obviously Lou did in '89. It was, Bruce in 2005. And so it was where that seed, I guess, was originally planted was in Macomb. And man, I'm just very fortunate, very blessed that I get to live that out and be the basketball coach at Illinois, a school that I always thought we could do that at.
Really enjoyed my conversation with Brad Underwood last Thursday. Of course, get your tickets for the John Deere Classic right now. You can do that at johndeereclassic.com. The Pro-Am involved in that as well. Go check out Brad. You could tell he was excited to get up to the Quad Cities. Doesn't get here very often. So I know Illinois fans very excited about it as well. So check out the entire interview. We talked about the, Keaton Wagler and Stojakovic, if he's coming back, and how he's handling that situation, and college basketball in general. So we got to a lot of different topics with Brad Underwood. If you missed it, if you're a college basketball fan, we had him weigh in on Ben McCollum and his thoughts of what Iowa's doing and stuff. So really fun chat with Brad Underwood last Thursday's Off the Air as well. We got more to get to on today's show. We'll wrap things up, kind of go through the rest of the week and get you sent off for the rest of your Monday right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. We'll do that right after the break. We'll be right back.
Hello, Dan Pearson here of FCA. Our team is thrilled to support Off the Air with our good friend Matt Randazzo. We share the view of the power of sport when it comes to relationships, including the influence of the coach. FCA believes the coach is the most influential person in America. Matt celebrates local coaches and athletes. His content is informational, insightful, and inspirational. Our Fellowship of Christian Athlete team loves partnering with Off the Air with Matt Randazzo while we engage, equip, and empower coaches and athletes in our 23 counties. FCA, the heart and soul in sports.
View from the West. the podcast covering Illinois high school football.
It's going to be a hard-hitting game. It's going to be great football.
Weekly analysis and reaction from around the western side of the state of Illinois.
This is the game we had circled when the year started.
Follow along on YouTube and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts.
It's big-time football out there tonight, and I know we can play big-time football.
You from the West. We got you covered.
Are you looking for the Quad City's best chips and salsa? There's only one dude to turn to.
Right on.
Snoop. Hand-cut chips, fried fresh with that crunch you've come to love. And the most addicting salsa with delicious fresh ingredients each and every time. Pick up your chips and salsa, queso, enchiladas, and much more at the Stern Center in Rock Island. To place your order, simply call the man himself. It's Snoop at 309-314-8197 and find out for yourself what the rest of the Quad Cities already loves. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities. Monday, May 18th. Thank you guys for joining us wherever you are and however you are taking part of the podcast. We really do appreciate it. The show has been a lot of fun, getting close to a year and a half doing this. On my second year, I've kind of figured out the ups and downs of what to expect that time of year, whether it comes to football season's super easy. Kind of came along with it, and that's easy to fill up. And March Madness, transfer portal, all of that. So it's been a lot of fun, and we appreciate you guys growing with us. If you're watching us, listening to us, however you are taking part in the show as well. One more time, I do want to bring up the Guy Randazzo Memorial Golf Outing. It comes our way June 20th. We have one, maybe two teams left. GuyRandazzoGolf.com, and get yourself signed up. It'll be a lot of fun. A lot of familiar faces from the world of sports, my former life at WQAD, and several others as well. So come on out and join us. Great course, great day of golf. That is for sure. Remember, tomorrow, no show. We will be at the John Deere Classic Media Day, working, air quotes if you're listening to this on the podcast form, working tomorrow. So we'll be back with a new episode coming up on Wednesday, and then throughout the rest of the week, we will be taking next Monday off. Like I know all of you will be, most of you will be as well for Memorial Day weekend. So that's the plan for this week. 3 fun shows coming up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I want to thank our guests today. It had been a minute since Tom Kakert had been on the show, and he deserved a chance to get back up here. I don't mean it like that, but he was busy last week. He went to the NBA Combine, talked with Bennett Stirtz and experienced all that. And then he went to South Bend for a very big showcase for high school athletes and high school basketball players, and great information from him. So if you missed that, go check it out. Tommy's got a ton of information. He'll have a lot of great content coming up this week on the Hawkeye Report. So make sure you're subscribed to the Hawkeye Report and listening to their podcasts and everything they do, and then also their articles are fantastic. Kyle does great work. Dennis is a great photographer. Tanner does awesome. Blair does awesome. So go check out those things at HawkeyeReport.com. I know Tom's going to, I want to say he said Kansas City this weekend for a little quick trip to check out some more prospects when it comes to the 2027 class and beyond for the University of Iowa. Again, the main focus that Tom talked about, point guard, and getting, and they're in on 5, it sounds like, and 5 are all really good. He wouldn't say who he thinks they get, but he's going to go check out the other 3, I think, in Kansas City this week. So keep it locked on the Hawkeye Report for that. And right here, we'll talk about it here as well. And then also, thank you to Wrigley Matthys for joining us. Wrigley, a Bettendorf standout, really good baseball player, won the MAC Player of the Year last year, went to Kirkwood this year, and kept on raking and kept on getting on base and doing great things. And now he's headed to the University of Iowa to play baseball next season. So great conversation with Wrigley Matthys as well. And then, of course, kind of recapped last week as well, because last week was a bunch of fun. And we're going to continue to bring some of that stuff back throughout this week as well, because when you have Zach Johnson, Brad Underwood, and Tate Sage within like a 72-hour period, you got to keep on reminding people to go look at that if they missed it as well. So thank you guys for watching today's show. Hopefully you stay dry out there. It looks like it's going to be dry for a while, and then a bunch more rain later on this evening and tomorrow. So enjoy your Monday. Enjoy Tuesday as well. Hopefully it stays dry enough that I can tear up Deer Run tomorrow. And we'll be back with a brand new episode of Off the Air coming up on Wednesday. We'll see you then.